welcome to another great day in Zilliqa's history. Actually, it's the second anniversary of our mainnet launch, which was January 31st, 2019. So I thought we'd have an informal chat with Amrit, who was there with the team on that very day, at that very time when the button was pressed and the mainnet went live. And it'd be nice to hear a little bit about what happened on that day and who was it that pressed the button. So maybe if you can remember, you could give the community a bit of an insight into what was a very exciting day.
It was definitely an exciting day, given the fact that we have been working on this for quite a while, almost 2 years. So this was January 31st of January 2019. So it was very certainly a tense moment and a very exciting moment as well, because you want to make sure that the network works and people will be able to transact. So it was very exciting. I think it was Junhao or Hanwen together with Shinshu who pressed the button. And so we were the first network that went live with the idea of sharding, right? Which ensures that as the network grows, the transaction processing power of the network grows along that as well. And very soon after that, we saw many of the projects sort of understood the potential of sharding, and then started to pursue sharding as a scalability solution. So that was a testament to what we achieved on that particular day. And soon after, we saw the first application going live on Stopple domains, which were sending tons of transactions to the networks. We were not even expecting the first dApp to come out so quickly and push so many transactions to the networks. So that was very exciting from the very first few months already. So yeah, 2019 was the day when we defined that sharding can actually be implemented in practice for a public blockchain and what it can achieve in terms of scalability.
So how many things were you watching? You were watching the servers, you were watching the code, you were watching the transactions, and how many different things are you watching at the same time?
Yeah, so the first version that we had launched, it was with bootstrapping. So it was on the bootstrap mode, which basically meant that you could run. So miners were allowed to run the nodes. Miners were allowed to collect rewards from the mining rewards, but they were not allowed to transfer their results around. So it was still a sort of restricted network at the early stages, but very soon, we were allowed to go. I think it was mid-June when we allowed smart contracts to be processed. And this was when Unstoppable Domains sort of went live. And then every day we were basically looking at Viewbox to see how things were going, how many transactions were being processed, and so on. So, since then the network has always been, we have always been glued to Viewblock and the network to see how things have been going on that.
Yeah, so over time, the growth has been steady, but it's decently high in terms of getting to 1 million transactions per month. In the initial launch period, what were you expecting? What were you thinking about?
Of course, the network takes time to grow. The network effect takes time to develop. So of course, first few months or so, we're not expecting that we are going to hit 1 million transactions per day. That would not have been realistic. But we knew that as we build and as we encourage people and developers to build dApps, we are definitely going to see transaction volume going up. And that's exactly what happened. So for example, the time, you mentioned about the number of transactions that we are now processing per month, which is close to around 1 million, even north of 1 million transactions per month. The exciting thing is that it's not just that the number of transactions is growing, it's even the growth of that is growing. So the time it takes for the network to process, let's say to process 1 million transactions is actually much lesser now. It used to be, I think, 3 months, let's say, I think 6 months ago, and now it's close to a month. So and that's mostly because a lot of applications have come up. One of the major ones was staking. We had ZilSwap launching in 2019. Staking, to be honest, my projection last year when I was looking at in December 2020, when I was looking at the numbers, I felt that okay, what could be our projection in terms of how many ZILs can staking contract lock by the end of 2021? And my expectation was that we're probably going to hit 6 billion, ZILs. But we are only 1 month in 2021, and we have already close to 5 billion ZILs already. So I think in 11 months, we are certainly going to go beyond 6 billion ZILs. So the contracts, the applications, and the token launches that have come up through ZilSwap has been the main trigger behind what we're seeing in terms of transaction volume.
So in summary, it's everything you thought it would be?
There were certainly some surprises, especially around staking, but I think all has gone really well, and I'm sure the community is also happy. And I'm really appreciative of what community has put in terms of their contributions towards staking and towards swap, towards liquidity mining, and so on. So a lot of exciting things are going to come up in 2021 as well, and I'm really grateful for what community has helped us with.
Yeah, we had an amazing town hall, internal town hall for all staff, all hands, and one of the key parts of that was the roadmap for the network and for all the things that we are simultaneously working on to improve it. Is there a quick summary you could give the community of where we stand with the roadmap for 2021?
Yeah, so 2021 is going to be a very packed year, just like 2020. So we launched let's say the phase 1 of staking, but there are several other phases that are planned, which will include, for example, Beazle, which will include, for example, connection with Pillar Protocol, which is the MakerDAO version on Zilliqa. So a lot of these things are going to be centered around staking. So you will see all sorts of branches coming out of staking. The other big project that we'll be working on is around interoperability. So we'll be building bridges with the help of Poly Network Bridge that will connect Zilliqa to, for example, Ethereum, Zilliqa to Bitcoin, and so on. And then you'll be able to bring assets from those native chains to on top of Zilliqa. In terms of technical platform, our goal is for 2021 is to be able to reduce the block time to around 30 seconds. Again, we'll see how far we can go. The current block time is around 45 seconds. So we target to bring it down to 30 seconds, close to that. And lastly, our goal is to also improve smart contract sharding and how smart contracts get processed on the network through some research that we have been working on internally, and also through the virtual machine that we're planning to build. So a lot of efforts are going to be on the core infrastructure side to improve and optimize the platform. At the same time, some efforts will also go on building the application layer products like staking, interoperability, bringing more tokens, and so on.
Great. We've got quite a few token projects lining up now for launch in the next few months. Obviously, we're excited about X Academy. We're very excited also about UFFS and their score token. We have a very interesting project we're discussing called the Human Token Project, which is pretty exciting too. And I just think we're going to keep adding more and more tokens which have their own distinct activity and their own ways of creating smart contracts and adding value to our community. So how do we plan for multiple different own branded tokens, if you like?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these things some of them are actually helped or grow from inside. So we work with partners like HMT you mentioned, or like X Academy you mentioned. And then we provide them support, not just in terms of technical, but beyond, because we also have a large community that we would like them to use and make use of. So a lot of efforts is actually going to be into helping some of these token builders and token creators into tapping into what our community can provide to them in terms of consumer base.
Yeah, and we have a very interesting move into DeFi, and I'm kind of interested in how the interaction with the network changes, or does it change in any way if other DeFi startups and apps and dApps and exchanges just keep multiplying around the Zilliqa blockchain? How does all that fit together?
I mean, the beauty of DeFi is certainly around composability, which basically means that when you build an application, it allows other applications to connect with it, right? So for example, when we launched staking, we were able to connect, let's say, governance token through that. So now you can actually go and govern. And through governance token, we were able to launch a governance portal through that. Through staking, we were able to launch ZilSwap, and they were able to be connected, right? So a lot of DeFi protocols and DeFi apps that you'll see in products and services that you would see on top of Zilliqa will be very composable, so they will connect with each other. Similarly, for example, we are talking about on Twitter and in the community as well about Beazle, so the bonded ZIL tokens. So when you stake, you get bonded ZILs, and those bonded ZILs somehow offers you a leveraged position. So you can use bonded ZIL, for example, in other assets, like in other protocols like Pillar, for example, which is a MakerDAO-like system, stablecoin system for Zilliqa. So a lot of these dApps and DeFi apps are going to be connected with each other, and then you'll be able to seamlessly use second app just via using the first app.
Yeah, we got very excited today when a famous VC from USA, Sri Lanka, Canada, Chamath, was talking on our thread with Milan about governance tokens. How far can governance tokens go?
Well, I think if there's one way to clearly define and articulate what DeFi, how DeFi differs from traditional finance, is the recent GameStop drama, right? It shows the power that a community can have on certain assets and certain protocols and systems. And this is where DeFi really shines. If you provide a protocol where the community can together contribute in meaningful ways, that'd be very powerful. So the idea, for example, would be, this is what Chamath has been discussing on Twitter, is about building sort of a decentralized autonomous organization that will allow people to act as a sort of a hedge fund in some sense. So decentralized hedge fund of some sort. So I'm really excited of in working together with Milan on writing up a proposal and sending it back to Chamath to see what he thinks of it.
Yeah, that's great, and a really good illustration of how far we can go with DeFi and governance tokens. We're going to celebrate today with a kind of reward for all ZIL holders. We're going to push out a tweet with lots of twos in it, and hopefully we can show our appreciation to the community for supporting everything that we've done in the last 2 years and for actively transacting on the mainnet. So we wish everyone well in that campaign. Help promote the video that we're on now, the future of DeFi and the Zilliqa blockchain. We appreciate it very much, but I'll leave the last word to Amrit.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Colin, and thank you very much, community, for bringing us where we stand today. It would not have been possible without the efforts put on by miners from the initial, even today, with the community who have been continuously transacting and pushing transactions on top of Zilliqa, and developers who are endlessly trying to build interesting applications that the entire community would be able to use. So thank you very much. I deeply appreciate all that you do.
It's been great. Thanks, everyone.